Previously on the Great Ace Attorney. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Maybe that trunk? Yes, that's a distinct possibility. I would hate it if this was an accident that got covered up. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Oh my god, he didn't trip over a cat, did he? A broken bell. Broken bell! Oh my god, he did trip over a cat. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? It's a broken piece of a bell that was hung around the cat's neck. Death by tripping over a cat. Oh my god. Talk about an inauspicious end. It can't be it. Oh my god. The great Kazuma Asogi taken out by a cat. Hello YouTube, I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? Someone tripped over the little kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. This is starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Okay, I guess it must be this.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. Oh, right, he probably can't even read Russian. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. Makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor because his neck was broken. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. I didn't read that. Ah! Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Susato-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, keep out in Japanese. I mean, if she went in there, she would have taken the entire bell away. Surely. I mean, maybe the other half of the bell was still on his collar. I don't know.
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around his neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half. Then the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. There's a flaw in that logic. Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw, a fatal flaw. But if that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back in here in this cabin? Yeah. The part that would attach to the ribbon is broken. Ah! Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that wastepaper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh, no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's... You are wasting time. Someone else was there? Duh, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. And only other person in cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
That's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You was shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of Isabel away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Hold it! Seaman Stroganoff! Nina is a woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of Ship's Band. You do not accuse Ship's Angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your toothbray? How can you be so sure?
Huh. You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through dark doors? Neat. It's impossible. Ah, he's right.
But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around the door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. We've already been over that, Susato, I mean, sorry.
Fred, are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so...
Susato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? So, Simon Stroganoff has valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside.
Not necessarily.
But
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind being used before.
I don't believe it.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. Oh, okay. I was going to have to do evidence.
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe, yes. It's what's known as the force of inertia, acting on the objects. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move in the same direction. The bolt on the cabin door. It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then...
Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance.
Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes. It's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that.
Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asogi was killed,
Yeah.
The SS Birdia made another emergency stop?
When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then, when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova?
Are you out of your mind? You say Birdia made emergency stop?
It does seem a little far-fetched.
How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room?
Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookouts alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Like you did just before you burst into here.
Wait, it was you?
When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes is not a complete idiot after all, is he? Surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself.
How dare you mess with ship? I report you to captain. You are in much trouble now.
Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we now have learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop or did it not?
You are ears. Birdia is huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? And is it this? No. Is it this? Was it? Oh, Well...
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship. Isn't that right?
That is correct. Why?
And the ship's log here, this would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
You rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But As responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later.
I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all.
Nothing recorded in the log? That is... because nothing happened.
But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Indeed so. Which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Beria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish.
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Here comes the gas! Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing?
Sorry? What do you mean?
Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah!
Oh, yes.
I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. My head's been throbbing today, too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. Can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. Oh, so not gas, poison food. He was always happy to share his meals. He doesn't like chicken. He didn't eat that night. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all. That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No. Really? Is that true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it.
A sleeping drug?
Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator.
What?
Mr. Sholmes! Well, Seaman? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. Yeah, the crew helped her escape, so they knocked everybody out so no one would know about it. And then something? I don't know where this is going. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked him to help me.
We all agreed to help. Everyone, together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You're all right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
Duh. We could not make all drug. How do you say? Dissolve?
Talk about heavy seasoning.
At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrades on shore with small fishing boat.
While all the passengers of the SS Perdius slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Casimir's cabin door. But why cover it up? Unless one of you killed him for some reason. I guess he discovered them?
But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos.
Oh, I wouldn't say so.
But
Oh, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins. After which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning.
You have talked a long time and said many things. What's this point?
The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night.
But... I don't know about any of these. I'm just a little girl.
You would like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes.
A laudable trait.
What?
I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah?
Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind?
What accusatory cry of guilt?
Sorry, you've lost me again. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction.
What are you talking about?
I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth.
Go.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please.
With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes?
With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said of these two prevaricators.
Observation? What now?
If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened.
Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning.
All right, I'll see what I can see.
So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Supposed to be looking at hang on. Are you missing part of an earring?
She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells.
Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear.
I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry.
An earring, is it? It really is tiny.
Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. So now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear.
If that's the case, She doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. Okay.
Yes!
I noticed the dainty jewelry you're wearing on your ears, Miss Pavlova. Were we to find a piece of those earrings in Mr. Asogi's cabin, it would prove beyond doubt that you were there. Although, we haven't actually found anything yet, so... What precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following the natural progression of the deduction. Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is, you do not have a turn for observation or deduction. Did that hurt? Ow. Yes, a lot. What? How exactly are we supposed to show that someone else was there when Kazuma died? I can think of two possible ways. Either we find a trace of something that the person in question left behind at the scene, or, if that's not possible, a trace of something that the person took away from the scene, be that accidentally or deliberately. Trace of something someone took away. If you observe closely enough, I believe you will find examples of both. If they made long, hard, and uncompromising stare from all sides. That's my advice. Okay. Oh, I can move. Ow! There. Oh, look at this! Some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. And look at the color, too. It's clear where this came from. But just had it selected.
Yes.
What? Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there.
Yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from.
So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain?
What are you trying to see?
It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. All right, then. The evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is. Where is it? Is it this? Yeah, okay. Must be.
Yes!
Can't actually see the bottle from there. Yes, this is photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink, purple. Ugh! The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt.
All right, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in Dead Steel's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I press button to make barrier to emergency stop and both cabin door shoot. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel.
Beef, please.
Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty, patrolling Patch's Way. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please, you must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little fairy friend.
Everything that happened in the cabin is like Angel told you.
The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor.
Yes, that is right.
So, after the incident, when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor.
She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked. So she opened to look, and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing. If you wouldn't mind,
But
when you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead?
I already told you. We Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked.
I was asking Miss Pavlova.
Damn, girl. Well, Miss Pavlova?
Oh. Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark and he was wearing black, but he was on floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you.
So, is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Casimir's death at last? Something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural.
What do you mean unnatural?
What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well,
If Kazuma tripped and fell, by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? Clenched fist?
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. His hand would have been open trying to break his fall. The exact same thought had occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. Oh, is that the earring? Is that the missing earring?
What do you mean?
Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago.
You did?
And what, pray tell, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow?
Mr. Sholmes, show us, please.
Why, of course, my dear madam. Why would I keep you in suspense? There it is. This is what I found.
Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle.
Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing.
I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks... It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before.
Like 5 minutes ago?
Observation, Mr. Naruhodo.
That is the key. But
The truth is now tantalizingly close.
How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist?
This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes.
name it.
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose.
What?
But looking at your other ear, I notice a crescent moon.
I don't believe it.
Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there's only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes.
Ms. Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments?
Oh no.
Angel.
He didn't know. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma?
Hate!
Oh,
Yet!
when I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much.
Oh, when I think about what happened yesterday, everything, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this long, horrible day. Daka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Daka would not come back.
what are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
It's a young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Daka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin.
Just a moment. Sorry, but...
Oh, yes?
I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina.
Huh? No. I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the far away east know a Russian ballerina?
Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't free him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then Daka jumped out of my arms and down towards the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him.
Oh, man.
I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me.
And that's when you went to fetch help. From Steeman Stroganoff, who was on duty out in the passageway.
I heard Nina cry out and saw it on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at the cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef. If they find out, I will be. Please, I have nowhere to go."
So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door.
Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Storvey in wardrobe, still sleeping.
Right. That's when he found me.
So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway.
I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper saying.
Luckily for me, that's the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent.
I dragged the young man's body to good place and used ink that was speeding to write on floor. I wrote wardrobe so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find Storvey.
I have no idea how to pronounce anything in Cyrillic. And tell me, what of the glass bell?
It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
I see.
But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half.
Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished job.
By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway?
Yes.
Accordingly, the SS Perlia did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova.
But,
Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right?
jeez.
But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem?
It was what he said first. That made me scared.
What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector?
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
He said an inspector was his friend.
Yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard.
I saw that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could put the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain. But he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done.
No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not done yet, it seems. There's one more deduction to make.
What? Another deduction?
Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? He's going to open the wardrobe and ask me. Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in that wardrobe, but still, that cabin has been my home for this entire voyage.
So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama?
Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes.
There's one thing I've learn't today. It's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at?
Take that!
Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe.
The wardrobe?
And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly.
Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night?
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion.
Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No. Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had.
Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that.
I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done?
Oh my God. And so at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Berdia was finally laid to rest. 9th January, 7:14 p.m., SS Burya, first class cabin, passageway. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? She won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she is an exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. They are due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the council to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. Couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Yeah, it looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. Seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh. Susato-san?
Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Well, haven't been back long. Inspector Osanaga just told me I should pack, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that.
I still can't believe this has happened. Can't believe someone's life can be over just like that.
Susato-san?
He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. And it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much.
Yes, I know.
Unless this is somebody new, this is a voice I recognize. You just put the name there.
I wish there was something I could say.
Oh, damn it.
I was wrong.
Inspector!
My duty was to see Osogi-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder.
Could you please stop with the accent?
Nobody blames you, Inspector.
The hell?
And I... Surprised, Mr. Naruhodo?
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting.
Sorry.
So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say. You are a stowaway after all. You're a laugh riot.
Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We are to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened.
What? Wait a minute.
It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, that I was the stowaway. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but for Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know.
Eba?
All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but
But anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer.
yes.
Miss Susato?
Yes.
Do you think that perhaps I might be able to do it? But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must, to become a lawyer in Great Britain.
Mr. Naruhodo.
That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days?
There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learnt enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate.
But why put yourself in such a difficult position?
Or Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say?
Are you serious?
One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable.
No, it's madness.
Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree?
Fascinating.
Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest. Give us fascination.
Speak for yourself.
Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusations of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage.
Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice.
Inspector!
After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector!
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I see. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report.
Okay, bye.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer?
I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant, after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this.
What? Me?
Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations.
Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet.
It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study.
Yes, that's exactly what I need.
But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you, too.
Goodness, what is it?
Please throw me to the ground. 3 times.
What?
I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course he would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior.
No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was locked from the inside.
No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times.
That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it?
Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it.
No, I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, I thought you'd left.
I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed.
When did he see that?
I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling?
Oh, well, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique.
Apparently it's called the Susato Takedown. Leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw?
Yes, I'd be honored.
Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam.
Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo?
What?
As you can see, you throw from the abdomen.
Oh, yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Susato takedown, is it?
Actually, no. That was a Susato squash.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, needed that moment of levity after that, all of that. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. Can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So his name compels this wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me.
Of course I will.
Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing you had to do. I still don't know what that was. Oh. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. The end! Oh my goodness, that was one heck of a ride. To the outro! You know what? I deserve absolutely zero credit for the resolution of that case. I was being led around by the nose pretty much the entire time. As bad as death by kitten would have been, accidental death by scared little girl is even worse. The first is a senseless tragedy and the end of a precious life. The second is a senseless tragedy that ended one life and ruined two others. I'm including Beef Stroganoff in that math because he was an accomplice. So now Ryunosuke is going to try to finish what Kazuma started without even knowing what the goal was. With the help of Susato and Sherlock Holmes, apparently. God, that man is all over the place. Not as clever as he thinks he is, but more clever than he appears at first blush. Oh, and Osanaga's there too. Anywho, up here's a playlist of my Persona 5 Royal playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. And of course, a very special thank you to all of my supporters on YouTube and Patreon. Your support is very much appreciated. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!